Brilliant. Perfect. So my name is Sophie Dangerfield. I'm a senior officer. I've worked with club and district support at Rotary for 6.5 years now. You're actually lucky because on this call, it is the first time that Mallory is with me, my new teammate, but we're not introducing her to clubs yet, but she's here. So you get an exclusive. Club and district support, just so you know, is mainly focused on policy and procedure, and that means all the different variants that come with that, from DEI to adult harassment to conflict resolution, and we help train governors as well. So conflicts do happen. They are a part of life. There's no way that we can avoid them completely. What we can focus on today is really how we can handle them and how that will play out for you in your role as club president. And as a humanitarian organization, peace is a cornerstone of Rotary's mission. So we really believe that people work to create peace in their communities, and that change can really have a global effect. And Rotary creates these environments where peace can happen globally so that we can role model that at the club level as well. So let's talk a little bit about how we handle them. So you only have control over what you can do as a club president. Let's see how we can make your life easier in doing that. What we'll be talking about today is a 1-hour presentation that I'm going to talk really fast to get all the information over to you. The impact of conflict, understanding conflict, 4 steps to solve conflict in clubs, Rotary's system to resolve conflict, and the benefits of good conflict management. Let's look at the impact of conflict first. So when we have a conflict, obviously there may be an aggrieved person or multiple. They can become disinterested. They might be negative, and that creates more conflict in your club. They might start to take a leave of absence and not be so present in the club emotionally and physically. They might even join another Rotary club or resign from Rotary altogether. All things that we really don't want in our club environment. And the impact of this conflict on a club means that it could become focused on conflict instead of service. It might be divisive instead of inclusive. You could lose members, your vitality. You might even fail to meet your reason for being. And that's a good thing to keep in the back of your mind, is why does this club exist? And when I look at this conflict, how can I help get both parties to remember why this club exists and reassure them that that is why it exists? And last but not least, the worst case scenario would be that the club decides to resign its charter. To understand conflict, this can go really all the way from the bottom of the stairs here, where you have no conflict, up to an explosive and destructive conflict. What we're going to focus on is to really try to catch that conflict resolution steps that we have and really catch it at the beginning. So we want to get it on the first or second step before it progresses to some of these higher steps that you can see on here. And I'm sure that you're going to have a fantastic year and never have any conflicts, and that's great. However, the reality of life is it might happen. It can happen at any time. And as a club and district support officer, I do see these. We help clubs or governors navigate how to get to a resolution depending on Rotary's policy. So in an ideal world, obviously, we'd collaborate. It would be no problem, and we'd resolve every conflict beautifully and quickly. But the reality is there's a lot of different factors that we deal with in each conflict. Here are 4 of them. So think about the significance of the issue, the importance of the relationship, and a big one is the relative power of those involved. Are they an officer? Are they not? Are they a PDG? Are they someone who holds a lot of Rotary power? And that can change how a conflict evolves and how comfortable people feel about speaking up when there is an issue. So making sure that your environment and your club is inclusive is really going to help on that point. And then lastly, of course, time constraints. As we delve deeper into policy, there are deadlines and times that are involved in arbitration, mediation, and any of the decisions that need to follow Rotary's policy. Underlying interest in conflict, and often this can help you get somewhere a lot quicker. When you're looking at what the conflict really is, you probably don't know what it is, and communication is going to be really important to start to talk to people to find out what's the real problem here. What is it that you really, what's really bothering you? What is it that you really want? So there's a nice example here, which are that two chefs are fighting over the last lemon. They both say they need it, and they refuse to compromise. Had they communicated, they would have found out that one of them only needs the lemon rind and one of them only needs the juice. So you never know what people's intentions are. You never know what their goals are, what's really bothering them. So really communicating openly and without judgment can help you avoid a bigger problem. Let's talk about sources of a conflict. We're going to look quickly at communication, emotions, and values. And hopefully you won't feel too much like the green crayon in your role as club president this year. So communication. What is communication for? So it's really, we're expressing our thoughts and feelings, and how we use it can determine the outcome of any conflict, whether it's two members in your club, whether it's a faction of members in your club. Really, communication and how well you use it can impact not only the conflict itself, but also the time that you're going to spend trying to resolve it. And so it can lead to misunderstandings, unclear expectations, and real or perceived unfairness. I think what everybody wants is to be able to be heard, and often just being able to listen and actively listen can help. So our ways of communicating: speaking. The one advantage with speaking is it's not written down. So you can see on the second point, words live forever. When you're writing, choose carefully, because they do live forever and they'll come back to haunt you. So carefully choose, only say what you mean, don't put judgment in there. So it would seem like speaking is a better option because it doesn't live forever. But in that case also, people can't go back to an email, reread it and think, oh, okay, I read this in the heat of the moment and really it's just saying this. So those can also be misconstrued by the way that people remember them. So just be clear, concise, stick to the facts. Don't go into what anyone's intentions are. Nonverbal communication. So how many of us with these nonverbal methods have to fight eye rolls, or we might cross our arms, which tells the person that you're defensive and not ready to speak? All these little things matter, especially when you're in the role of a leader. So people will expect more from you because you are a leader, you're the role model, and they will judge you consciously or not on that. So the more neutral you can remain, the faster your job will be at resolving conflicts. Lastly, active listening is a form of communicating. It means that you're really communicating your intentions with respect. You're listening to the person, and instead of fighting what you want to respond and say as soon as they're done talking, listen to what they're saying. Repeat back what they're saying in your mind to really get to what they're saying. You can't reread an email when it's listening. So looking at this, the three types of communication: aggressive, passive, assertive. Which one do you think is best? And which one are you in general when presented with conflicts? Hopefully you're in the middle there. Being assertive doesn't mean you're aggressive. It just means that you're demanding respect, but you're also providing the same to the person that you're speaking with. And so aggressive obviously can show that you're seeking power, that you're not looking for a compromise, you're looking to win. But passive is just as negative in the form of conflict resolution. So you have to address these conflicts as a leader before they get out of hand. Quick talk about our emotions, because they come into play in these conflicts. We'd like to think they don't, and that it's just the facts, but often the emotions are the underlying reason that you're going to have these conflicts, and you are managing the emotions and feelings of your club. So, little quiz, real quick, from 0 to 4, how mad would you be if you made a trip to town on a busy Saturday to buy something, and then when you got home, what you bought didn't work? How mad would you be? Stick it in the chat. And how about if you were trying to turn left across busy traffic on a wet day, the driver behind you blows his horn and screams at you? You're going to be a little irritated, or will you be very angry? And you don't have to tell me the answers to all of these, but you can calculate in your head what your score is across these 3. So give you a second to look at those last 3, those last 2. The last one seems to get most people when I ask these questions. While you're in the doctor's office, a screaming child is running around, tripping over people, and her parents did nothing about it. How annoyed would you be? We all know we'd like to say 0 to everything, but that's not who we are, because we're human beings, and the people that are entering into these conflicts are also human beings. And the more aware we are of it, the better. So calculate your score depending on those 4 questions. What does your score come out to be? I'm seeing some honesty. That's nice. So if you scored 0 to 4, you are an angel. And you're very lucky because you have a good control level of emotions. If you're 5 to 8, you're moderate. 9 to 12, need a little work, low. If you're 13 to 16, hey, it's not that it's a bad thing. It's that now you're aware that you need to work on it. And it's not a problem having those emotions. It is if they come out when you're trying to resolve a conflict. So the key, really, so the conflicts don't escalate, is to practice controlling your emotions. This sounds obvious, and a lot of the things that we're going to go through, you know internally, but as a club leader, you have to reframe how you're viewing this common sense, because it applies to your club conflict. And one word out of place can create a whole new conflict. I'm telling you from experience, and this is something that we have to manage. So for example, hot buttons. What happens when person A does or says something specific that causes an extreme reaction from person B that you just didn't expect? Person A might not realize. They just push that other person's hot button, and that adds fuel to the fire, and it goes bigger and bigger. So by open communication, we try to get to know our club members, know what those hot buttons are. For example, don't talk about cats with Mary. Whatever it is that gets them, that's something that you as a president can ensure there's open communication, chit-chatting, which will help. So to think about in your own time, what words, statements, or behaviors are real hot buttons for you that really just annoy you. And if someone were to mention them, doesn't matter what their logic or argument was, it's out the window because your button has been pressed. And one last thing to think about. So how would you handle that situation? Let's look at values. Obviously, you've all seen this, but let's reframe it and put it in the club environment. So in the club environment, how would you handle this? Is it the truth? Try to figure that out. And remembering that each person has their truth and they might not be incompatible. There might be 2 things that are the truth that people are saying, but they're just not in agreement of how important they are. Is it fair? And lastly, will it be beneficial to all concerned? You can really think about, will it be beneficial to all concerned in this club? And that can help you to think about what the resolution is. So 4 steps to solve the conflict in clubs. Number 1, attack the problem and not the person. One of the reasons that conflicts exist in the first place, and also and mainly get out of hand, is because as soon as we're presented with something that frightens us or that we think, oh, this is of utmost importance, our immediate natural human reaction will be to attack the person. We won't mean to do it. We know it's wrong, but this happens, and we see it as CDS officers all the time. So that means that we really need to push forward the message that we need to assume good intentions on the other person's part. Even if you categorically know that this person has very, very bad intentions, it doesn't matter, because the intentions are not what your job is to discover as a club president. Your job is to follow Rotary policy, to see what goes against Rotary policy, what goes against your club's bylaws, and how you can resolve the conflict according to those and find a solution. So focus on interest and not position. What's best for this complete situation? It doesn't matter if the person's an officer, if they're a member, if they're newer, if they've been established. What is the interest of the club? What will be beneficial for it? Find options in which both parties win. You can find solutions where both parties don't feel like, oh, the other person won and I have nothing. There are solutions where something that's important to each party can be reached, and you can show yourself to be a fair club president and board. Cooperate together to resolve the conflict. So going along with this image, you really want to think ant and not queen bee. You don't want to think about a hierarchy, just you're one of the ants. So in the club, these ants get things done. There's no talking here, there's just let's do it. And that's what a club can do, is to really focus on, we all have the same goal. Let's see how we can get to it without hurting anyone's feelings. So what are some of the things you can do to prevent conflict? Because preventing it will be so much less of a headache for you than having to deal with it once it's out there. Some of the things are open communication. So as a club president, you could suggest maybe a membership survey. What is important to people? What do they like? Do they like virtual? Do they like in person? What kind of service projects do they want to do? You could offer unofficial feedback where people have an anonymous way to provide feedback and that protects against retaliation. You could have time in club meetings just to talk openly about who you are as people and not just focus on the service projects and what your club is doing. Reviewing your club bylaws turns out to be something that's really important. We see that when it comes down to it and clubs do have conflicts, invariably they'll say, well, we haven't updated our bylaws in years. And having that in your bylaws before the problem exists really shows your values, and it shows your club what the values are of the club. So you might put in there some of these things: how you accept new members, vote for a board, where are you meeting, is it accessible to everyone, is someone hard of hearing and you're not giving them an option to literally hear and be heard, what are the do's, club communication in general. And then lastly, setting goals.
Sophie, you're fading. Your voice is fading.
Oh, it's my computer.
There you go. Okay, sorry. Just want to make sure you knew.
It's my computer. It goes in and out. They're trying to
fix it. It is better. Thank you.
They're not successful. And so setting club goals is our last thing. This seems like something that Rotary would want you to do, but actually Rotary never looks at anyone's goals. These are purely for you to be able to see trends and analysis. You can at one click have a report that comes out depending on your goals. It really does help because every club member can get a free My Rotary account and see the goals and see how far you've come to achieving those goals. And so they feel more part of the team and there'll be more of a cohesiveness that helps with that. The citation award, I'll refer you to the citation staff for that, but that can be something that clubs can work towards. And that looks like this in case you don't know. Go to My Rotary, go to Rotary Club Central, you've got the goal center. And then don't forget that last box over on the right there. You need to select the goal for it to show up. So if you select all goals and click save, you'll always see all the goals and be able to access them. So Rotary system is our last subject matter to resolve problems. If you look at the club constitution, This is where you see that board action is final. So it's not your opinion as the club president. It's not even your decision as the club president. It is the board. And members agree when they become a Rotary member that they will abide by the club constitution. That cannot be altered. Club bylaws can, but the constitution is what it is as it is written. And it doesn't matter what anyone's opinion is. You can simply go to the policy in there and see how to resolve. There are entire articles that you can go to see if a member disagrees with this, if a member has that, and there are steps. I would be the person that you would contact if you had something that you didn't know how to interpret or put into practice. And I'm always happy to have phone calls or emails with Rotarians. So a suggested system really is to keep this local as much as you can, resolve it with Rotary's policy, and as soon as that internal conflict in a club appears, the club board of directors will review it. You could agree, you could have arbitration, you could have mediation. If that doesn't work, you would escalate up to your AG. And if that doesn't work, your DG is there for you. Caroline would be able to give you advice. And you're not alone. You also have CDS on your side. And so you can contact me anytime for issues like this. One of the things that plays into conflict resolution is adult harassment. So if it involves youth, you go straight to youth protection at rotary.org. If it does not involve youth in any way, CDS would be the one to take care of this. And I will send you this presentation, by the way. It has my contact in there, sophie.dangerfield at rotary.org. And just so you know, we do take harassment seriously. And this has a link here to preventing and addressing adult harassment. I strongly suggest you take it because it takes into account conflict resolution as well. There's also on the Learning Center a course specifically for conflict resolution. So I highly recommend that you take that as well. And the last area that this impacts is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so we're really addressing biases. We all have them. It's normal. You're a human being. But what we need to think about when we're thinking through solutions is not only, do I have some unconscious bias that's affecting what if I think someone's honest or not, if I think their intentions are good or not? Does someone else, one of the parties, have a bias that's playing out in this decision? How can I look just at the facts? And how can we talk openly about it as a club so that these things, so that we're more aware of it? The more aware people are and communicate openly, the less you will see this happen. The benefits of a club where conflict is well handled. So all of this is to get to this goal, right? It really provides retention of members who could have left due to club conflict. You have better club atmosphere. Everybody feels open and psychologically safe, and you're able to function as a club without fearing any power play. And mutual respect between all club members. So your members can focus on supporting club service projects, increasing membership and club goals. They're going to bring their family to Rotary if their experience is positive. When we had a survey not too long ago, only 52% of current members said they would recommend Rotary to their friends and family. Yeah. So, and 46% of former members wouldn't recommend anyone to join their former club. Most of them, 52%, citing personality conflicts as the reason for leaving Rotary. So that's how much emotions, personalities, and all of the underlying dynamics can matter, even when it seems that it's just a fact that has nothing to do with those things. So keep that in mind as a club president. I hope that this was helpful to you. I'll leave you with this quote: good teams become great ones when the members trust each other enough to surrender the me for the we. Any sports fans? That's Phil Jackson. He's a famous coach, and he used to manage big egos like Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman. And so if he can say this and that's something that works, let's take it on board and try that out. And so just take the ego out not only of yourself, but of your club members, and reassure them that they're valued and have a place. Any questions? Then I leave you with my favorite show, Ted Lasso, and the believe sign. Yes. Brownie points for those who know what I'm talking about.
Thank you so much, Sophie.
You're very welcome. I hope that was helpful.
It was. I found it helpful. And what was interesting to me is that it brought back memories of my club president days where we had, and my observations of another presidency that occurred after mine, in which we had some conflict and we had to figure out how to deal with it. So I think I've discovered ways in which maybe we did a good job in some areas and not so good a job in other areas. So thank you. Thank you so much. Are there any questions, or, does anyone have any thoughts or concerns? Or Sophie's here now. She's here with us live. So really take advantage of this expertise. If you have any questions.
Je parle français, s'il y a des francophones aussi. Sébastien Dupont, je me demande, tu avais la main levée, tu avais une question? Well, it's wonderful to meet with you all. It's so great that Zoom offers this opportunity to just meet. And just so you know, I'm happy to take a phone call or turn that into a Zoom call and just have that personal connection to talk about things. You can always talk to your CDS officer confidentially. We're the opposite of the Rotary Police. We're there to advocate for you and just interpret what Rotary's policy says and how you can navigate that.
Thank you, Sophie, so much. And we did record this, so I'm going to share this. I'm going to upload it to our YouTube channel, and I'll send that link out to all of our club presidents, so they'll have the benefit of your presentation. So thank you so much, Sophie. I appreciate it. And Ed says thank you as well. Take care. Have a great evening, Sophie.
Have a great evening.
So Sophie, you're welcome to stay or go. I know you're busy, so feel free to head out if you need to. Kevin, yes, Kevin's applauding you. We all do. So now I want to throw the floor open to open mic. If anyone has any questions, concerns, anything on their mind, any celebrations, I'd love to hear from you. So I'm throwing the floor open
Caroline, I'm going to have to head out, but I just thought I'd plant a seed in our presidents.
Yeah.
We are looking for discussion leaders. I know you did not get an in-person PETS when you were training to be president, but we are going to invite you if you'd like to have an in-person PETS and be part of it as a discussion leader. We are looking for discussion leaders, and our current presidents make the best discussion leaders for the next presidents. So if you're interested in being a discussion leader, would you let Caroline know, or you can drop me a line as well. It would mean going to the in-person PETS down in Massachusetts, and it's in Newton, March 8th, 9th, and 10th. It also means going to a training down in Newton on February 4th. So if you're interested, we'll give you more information, but I hope some of you would take the invitation to heart and join us for an in-person PETS down in Massachusetts.
Thank you,
Right.
Susan.
Thank
Take
you
care.
very much.
Thanks
Have
for
a good
joining us.
night.
Bye-bye. So what's on people's minds? How's it going?
So, can you hear me okay?
We can.
I got on late because I've been sitting in front of my computer that I have in my office at home. And went to sign on and realized that the computer that I'm not on, one that I usually work on, I keep forgetting it doesn't have a video on it or speakers. No. So I went to log on and I'm like, oh, I had to go get my laptop. Anyway, this Friday, our club is doing a Veterans Day celebration. This is our second one that we're doing. It's arose out of our flags, Operation Flags for Heroes program, which we've been doing for about 2 years, which is where individuals can sponsor a flag and have in honor of their hero, whether it be a veteran or really anybody in the community that's their hero. And that kind of came out of the COVID thing with all the people out there that were just working so hard. So this Friday, 10 o'clock in Milton, and noon in Colchester, having all kinds of individuals speak, from local officers to state representatives as well. And last year we probably had over 100 people in Milton and almost the same in Colchester, and hoping to grow that again this year.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you, John. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate it. And I think Kevin and Sebastian had maybe they're unmuted. So Kevin, did you want to chime in?
Sure. I was just going to mention that one of the things that we're excited about is that we're restarting our auction fundraiser after 3 years of not having it. So that'll be happening again for the first time next week on November 17th.
Nice.
That'll be at the Hanover Inn. So if any of you are in the neighborhood of Hanover and want to join, you're certainly welcome to join.
So that's an actual in-person auction, Kevin?
Yep. Yes.
Oh, cool.
And it'll be
great.
in-person traditional auction. Yeah.
Lovely. Wonderful. Sounds exciting. You'll have to give us a report back on how it went.
Yeah.
So, anyone else? Sebastian, did you want to join? Whoops, we can't hear you. I don't know why.
Okay. Maybe even better if I get closer. So yep. We just finished 2 weeks ago our used book fair that we have been doing for the last 38 years. And post-COVID, we did a good result. We got 48,000. And the thing that we are more proud of the achievement is about 80% of the club joined in. So we have a good participation. So that was pretty good.
Wonderful.
So we're pretty proud of that. And the next step will be the Christmas parade. And we're going to have a place where we're going to give out the hot chocolate to everyone.
Nice. J'aimerais des photos si c'est possible, Sébastien.
Parfait. Je vais te trouver ça.
Parfait. Merci. That's wonderful. That is quite a tradition. 38 years. That's amazing. Congratulations. That is really, really wonderful. And a Christmas parade sounds fun. So I look forward to it. As someone, by the way, who has been, I think for 4 years, I've been Mrs. Claus in the local Santa parade. I just want to say, I really respect the Christmas parade. So well done. Anyone else want to chime in? Tell us what you're doing, what's going on. Emily.
I can chime in. Hi.
Yeah.
I don't think last meeting I think I got on a little late, so I didn't get to like introduce myself. But hi, I'm Emily. I'm the Morrisville Rotary Club president this year. I'm a junior at Northern Vermont University Johnson, so I'm a college student. Yeah, so I'm really excited to be the president of the club.
Congrats.
But we just did our annual coat drive this past weekend, so we had around 527 coats donated, cleaned by the community. Yeah. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we had just people, anyone can just come in, get a free coat, no questions asked. And it was a really good turnout. I think we had, I don't know how many people we had, but I know we were only left with around like under 200 coats from that. So around 300 and plus were gone, which is great. And then all the local coats that were left over, we then gave into local like nonprofits in the area or just other places that needed them. DCF got a couple of things like that. So that was really cool. We're also now doing next week, is our literacy grant like service project is coming up. So we gave our literacy grant to our local library to buy more of graphic novels, and then they're doing a graphic novel workshop. So our Rotarians will be there to help like make graphic novels with the kids, and they're having a speaker come in to teach them how to do that. And then the last thing that we're like looking forward to is our Polar Dash. It used to be our Polar Splash event. We're now looking for people to be our sponsors with that, and just heading out to organizing that. So
wow, amazing. Amazing. Can I also get just as I asked Sebastian, can I get photos from you of the coat?
Oh yeah. Yep.
I'd love that to feature those. So folks, anytime you do these impactful projects, please get me photos. I love to put them on the district website. love to put them on our Facebook page. Love to get them out there. So Emily, that just sounds so exciting. I'm really, really excited and happy that you have stepped up to the presidency. Well done. Congratulations. That's great.
Thank you.
Scott, you wanted to contribute.
Yes. First of all, Emily, I drove through Morrisville yesterday and I looked off to my left as I was heading up the road that Hannaford's is on, and I saw this wonderful rotary, I don't know if you call it a sculpture, but of the rotary wheel. I'd never seen one of those before. Wonderful.
If I have this correct, I'm pretty sure one of our members like made that a few like years back, way before me, and we've had it ever since. We just upkeep it. So
I
yeah.
would love to have a picture of it. I thought of it after I'd already gone by that I should have stopped and taken a picture. So I wanted to acknowledge that. And as far as our Newport Rotary Club, we're getting ready for December 3rd. We'll participate in a light up the night parade where we'll be decorating pickup trucks and vehicles for Christmas lights. We'll have our big duck that we use for our duck regatta on the back of a pickup truck, all decorated as a Christmas duck. And we've done this for the last 2 years or 3, and the people in Newport and Derby line the street. We start down by Lake Memphremagog and end up at the junior high school in Derby. So people come out and stand with their families and children and wave to us, and it's a very cheerful event. We also do a Secret Santa giveaway where each member is given an envelope with a $100 bill. And we just go out into the community randomly and hand it to somebody and thank them on behalf of Rotary. Merry Christmas. So we'll do that around the middle of December.
I love that. And I don't know, Scott, whether you ever take videos of the people receiving the envelopes and their expressions when they open it. I think that'd be really fun. So
I should do that. I gave one to a gentleman at the recycling center last year, and he opened he's looked at the return address. He says, "Is this because you want me to join Rotary?" And I said, "Not necessarily, but I want you to open it so I can see what you think." And he opened it up and took the $100 bill out, and he just the expression on his face is just as you would imagine. He said, "Wow." Well, it's a wonderful thing.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty great. Wonderful. Well, the holidays are definitely upon us. You guys are all gearing up for your incredible projects. So I'm excited to see the pictures. I'm really just so thrilled and happy with the impact you're having on your communities and the impact you're going to have over the holiday season. So, well done. I look forward to applauding you from the sidelines. I did want to get back to kind of some of the questions that I asked before Sophie's presentation. And one of them was the AGs, the assistant district governors. Part of the infrastructure initiative that I'm sort of embarking on in this district and have been working on is building up our infrastructure and building up the role of our assistant district governors. And I'm concerned that maybe we're not reaching you as assistant district governors the way we should be. So I just wanted to get some feedback. Has your assistant district governor visited your club? Have they reached out to you? Have they provided you with any assistance or resources? Have they been a good source for you of information and support? So I'm going to throw the floor open now and get that feedback from you. What are your impressions in your working relationship so far with those assistant district governors? John, that was either 0 or okay. So I'm not sure which one it was.
That was a 0. I couldn't tell you.
0.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I don't know who my district governor is.
Okay. Okay. So I do know, I will check my list, John. I know that we are missing one assistant district governor from the lineup. That person was not able to continue. I don't honestly remember if it's your club or not. So I will, do all of you know, can you nod either yes or no if you know who your assistant district governor is?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing Sebastien. Shannon, Linda, you know, Shannon, you know. Yeah. Emily, do you know who your assistant district governor is? Okay, and Kevin? Whoops, you're muted.
Sorry, no, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna send out a little reminder to folks and let you all know, make sure everyone knows who their assistant district governor is. I'm sorry if they haven't reached out to you folks. Some of you, that is obviously not an ideal situation. So that's part of what we're working on from the district level, and I appreciate your feedback. From those of you who have received communications from your assistant district governors, and again, we don't have to talk about names, but on a scale of 0 to 10, how's it going? Sebastien.
I know my district governor for a long time, and he's trying to get a date to come at our club, but we have some busy mornings, so we're postponing his visit until beginning of next year.
Okay.
And yeah, we're gonna be happy to receive him. But with the past experiences that we had, sometimes it's good to have a good link with the whole district and not just the district ADG.
That is true. That is true. That is a good point. Anyone else? Feedback on assistant district governors?
This is Linda from Lancaster Rotary, and Dave has been tremendous. Any questions I have, he gets back to me within half an hour. He meets with us almost every week, of course, because we're his home thing, but I have he does a good job.
That's wonderful. And Linda, I will tell you that Dave is the one assistant district governor who has continuously communicated with me, given me updates as to what's going on in the clubs. He's really kept me in the loop, and that really is supposed to be the role of the district governor or the assistant district governor. They're supposed to let me know what's going on because I can't be everywhere at all times. So Dave has done a phenomenal job of that. So I'm really glad that you're feeling his support as well. That's really great.
Well, he also tells me what has happened in different clubs and what they're doing and stuff like that. So that's great that I know so much about the district too.
Yeah, that's great. Anyone else? Scott says thumbs up. Sounds like his assistant district governor is doing a good job. Or
Yes,
maybe he's just happy, Linda, with Scott. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I lost my video.
Oh, that's okay.
To correct that later, but our assistant district governor is just the most lovely person, the kindest person, and dependable person that I could ever imagine. I couldn't invent a better person.
Yes, you have a lovely assistant district governor. I agree with you. So very, very nice. Shannon, how's your assistant district governor working out for you?
Dave's actually come to a couple of meetings. One, I wasn't even there, but then he has been, I think, twice.
Okay.
Plus he joined us for your visit.
Yes.
So he's been, really great and offers help whenever we need it.
That's great. That's great. And Emily, I haven't heard from you. What experience have you had so far?
So my AG is one of our club members, so she's been super helpful for me, both transitioning as president and then just anything Rotary. So yeah, I am.
Good. Glad to hear it. All right, John and Kevin, I will follow up with you about that. So great. And so final minutes, I guess, I wanted to just put kind of the thought, get the thinking caps on in terms of where you go from here as club presidents. You are club presidents for the remainder of this year. I know that you have sort of your, most important job right now, and you'll be continuing to put your energies and your passion toward that, which is wonderful. We very much appreciate it. But I wanted you to start thinking about life after the presidency. It's really important that, that you try to really capture the knowledge that you have and the experience you have, and perhaps think about in some way benefiting the district from that. So as we've talked about assistant district governors, that is a potential option for you folks to, a role that you could play potentially after your presidency is over. If you feel like you are somebody who would enjoy being a support to other area clubs, an assistant district governor usually has 3 or 4 clubs assigned to them. They're required to visit each club at least once a quarter, so once every 3 months. And their job is to really provide resources and support and communication to those clubs. So answer any questions they have, provide, give me any nudge if I need to know, or the district governor needs to know if we need to provide support, additional support, or if they have any needs that we're not aware of. But really that person is intended to support the club. So, you know, think about whether that might be a role that you might enjoy playing. It's very gratifying to begin to expand your Rotary world into other clubs and to get to know those other clubs and the culture and the kind of things they're doing. So it's kind of a really fun role. If there's any way in which you identify that you have a particular passion in Rotary as a result of your presidency, we have a number of committees at the district level that we'd love to have you join. So they are, you know, they're not a heavy lift on many of those committees. It's something that you can do in a fairly light fashion. But of course, more hands make you know, for a better result, and you know, an easier lift for everyone. So begin to think about that as well. There might be some role you can play at the district level. So I just wanted to make sure that you're beginning to think about that as you enjoy your presidency and continue in it. We'd love to capture some of that experience toward the end of your tenure. So a couple minutes left. Any other thoughts or questions for me or for anyone else on the call? Yep, Sebastian.
Can I show you what we do with our Facebook page and to show you some photographs that maybe I don't send you, but they're shown on our site? Are you the one who's able to share the screen?
I will. Absolutely. Whoops, you skipped around on me there. Hold on. Oh, yes.
I don't know if everyone, I'm sure everyone has a Facebook page or things like that, but that's where we communicate mostly our different sites there.
Great.
What we do. So when we did our book fair, we did a lot of photographs and postponed everything each day, things like that, to make sure that everybody was able to like and share everything. So we even some people kept wearing masks and things like that. So yeah, it was something which we do all the time. So our Facebook page is always active. Each week, each time we have something, we share it, we like it, and yeah, it's a good way for us to communicate within our own team, with the public and things like that. So
Wonderful,
yep.
Sebastian.
So even if you don't see that, we have something that is pretty active. So
that's terrific. Thank you for sharing that. That's great. Wonderful. And I really appreciate that you're using Facebook, you're using that social media to communicate with to raise your visibility as a club and to show the impact you're having. So nice job, Sebastian.
For the book fair, we had about a few thousands views and sharing and things like that. So once we did the publicity, it went viral, and it was a pretty good success. And the owners and the district general director for the stores, everyone said to us that it was since we do the event, it makes more people go into their stores also. So it was a good joint venture.
Amazing. Amazing. Félicitations. Well done. Great. All right. Well, listen, thank you all for joining. I appreciate it. Our next call will be in December. I'll send that message around, and I will send the YouTube link for this recording. So we'll share it with others. You can share it with anyone in your club, and John and Kevin, I'll get back to you on the ADG situation. So thank you all for joining tonight. I really appreciate it. Take care.
Caroline.
Have a great evening.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
See you Saturday.
Mm-hmm.